The QE2 is a part of the legendary tradition of ocean liners begun when Samuel Cunard launched the RMS Britannia. This silver cup was presented by the city of Boston in 1840 to commemorate its arrival and the beginning of the transatlantic age. By the turn of the 20th century, great ships like the Mauretania ruled the sea, carrying travelers between Liverpool and New York. In 1934, Cunard launched the first of the Queens, the Queen Mary. She was the largest ship in the world at 88,000 tons. In 1938, the second Queen was launched, the Queen Elizabeth. And in 1969, Cunard launched the third Queen, the Queen Elizabeth II, the QE2, one of the most popular ships of all time. She was smaller at 67,000 tons and designed to serve as both a transatlantic liner and a cruise ship. She was ahead of her time. She was stylish, sleek, and represented the very best in British taste and design. She sails today as an icon of the 1960s, a decade that began the move of the transatlantic liner into the modern age. And each year, she circumnavigates the globe on her legendary world cruise. The QE2 World Cruise begins and ends in New York, but few people have the time to make the 100-day journey, so segments are sold. We are going to board in Sydney, Australia, then sail on to Melbourne and Perth. From Perth, we will sail to Bali and Brunei, next Manila, and then Hong Kong. In Hong Kong, we will begin an overland trip to Xian and Beijing. Back in Hong Kong, we will reboard the ship and sail north to Tokyo, returning to Nagoya, then on to Ho Chi Minh City, before stopping in Singapore and heading to Bangkok, the last stop of our trip. Our journey will begin in Sydney, Australia. Sydney's best-known site is the Opera House. Designed by the Danish architect Jorn Utzon, the design was intended to represent the billowing sails of boats on Sydney Bay. For 3 decades, it has stood as the leading symbol of this city. Before the Opera House was built, Sydney's best-known site was the Sydney Harbour Bridge, built in 1932. Sydney has an expansive skyline, boasting office buildings, new downtown residential districts, and extensive public transportation, including a monorail system that loops through the city, connecting Darling Harbour, the city centre, and Chinatown.